But what about if we have a triangle that does not have a right angle? Those are what we call oblique triangles, and they look something like this. Now, rather than labeling it as the hypotenuse, the opposite of the adjacent, for oblique triangles, we are concerned about the angles and their side lengths, A, B, and C. And the opposing side we label as little a, little c, and little b. And again, they could be all acute, or they could have an obtuse angle, like over here. But it doesn't really matter. And guess what? You can label these any way you want to. You don't even have to use A, B, and C. I don't even know why I put a B, C there. But you don't have to use A, B, and C. But this is like kind of our classic that we use. Now, what we can do when we're dealing with oblique triangles, if we need to find missing angles or missing sides, another important fact about the sines and cosines is we can use the law of sines and the law of cosines. So let's go over when we can use which one, and I'll kind of detail it out a little bit as well. So we can use the law of sines when we have angle, angle, side, not angle, angle, angle. Do not do that. Okay, because that does not prove congruency if you remember from geometry class. Angle, angle, side. We could use angle, side angle, or side, side, angle. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that produces the ambiguous case. I'm not even going to deal with that in this video. If you want more videos or explanations on that, then I'll make sure I link a video down below. I have a ton of content on the ambiguous case. I don't want to go over it in this video. It'll make it too long. So that is going to give us our law of sines. Now, the law, or we can use the law of sines to find missing sides or angles. So the law of sines is represented as a proportion. So A over sine of A is equal to B over a sine of B. That is a proportion, a ratio equal to another ratio. Now I'm going to write out C equals a sine of C, but don't get it confused. You don't need all three. All you need is one proportion. So you could have these two, you could have these two, or you could have A and C, but you have to have a ratio equal to another ratio. Okay. So let me kind of give you an example so you can kind of see how this would work or how this would play out. So if I had a triangle, and I'm not going to give you any letters, right? And let's say this was 46. Let's say this angle was 33, and this side length is 15. Okay. And I said, I want you to be able to find, I don't know, A. Okay. So we can use the law of sines because this is angle, side, angle, right? So we're good right there. So how do we set kind of this up? Because the problem is, when doing the law of sines, I have to have a proportion. I have to have its side length opposing its angle, or its angle opposing with its side length. I don't have any of them, but I can figure out what this angle is because that's going to be 180 degrees, which all the angles in a triangle add up to, minus 46 minus 33. And that's going to be 101. Yes, so that's going to be 101. So now I have this comparison. Okay. Now, since that's A, let's call this big A, and let's call this big C. Okay. And then we'll call this little c, and we'll call this b. So I don't need to create a proportion for every side length. I just need to create one proportion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what I have here. I'm going to say a 15 over the sine of 101. And that's going to equal to, well, either one of these. Which one do you do, A or B? You kind of pick. Okay. Doesn't really matter in this scenario. I'll go ahead and pick B. So I'll do B over the sine of 33 degrees. Now you have a ratio. Now you can go ahead and solve. But again, guys, we could spend a lot more time on this. I'll make sure I link other videos down below. Now that is for when we have a proportion that can be created. But if we don't have a proportion that can be created, we're going to have a triangle that's going to look like this: side angle side, or side side side. When we have that, we're going to want to use the law of cosines. Now the law of cosines is going to look a little bit differently than the law of sines. That is going to be c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus a 2ab times the cosine of c. Now, a lot of students get confused on this, and there's another way you can rewrite it if you want to solve for the angle. I just have this memorized, but I tell students everything is going to be interchangeable. Okay. So here's what's important and where a lot of students will make mistakes as well. Let's say on a problem on your homework or on a test or quiz, you get this: a equals a 20, b equals 10, C equals 30. Now these are all side lengths. Okay. So we know, hey, we have side, side, side. I can use the law of cosines. Okay. Now they go ahead and maybe visualize this triangle, what they want to. And let's say they say, all right, that's 20, that's going to be 10, that's 30. And then immediately go into, well, if I have side, 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 I'm just going to put my C as my 30, and that's what I need to solve for. No, ladies and gentlemen, do not assume C is going to always be your 30. Actually, law of cosines, there's actually a lot of tricks and tips that I have. And again, I'll link another video into it. But actually in this scenario, what we would actually want to do is actually solve for this angle first, which would be big B. But again, here's the thing. This is all interchangeable, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to solve for big B instead of big C, again, there's another form for it, but what I want to really bring into you is I can rewrite this as a B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC times the cosine of big B. Then I can plug in all of the numbers that I have and then go ahead and solve for cosine of B, which again, we'll be talking about taking the cosine inverse. And there's another formula that'll work, but the important thing is I just gave you one formula and you can rearrange those variables however you see fit, okay? But again, I'll make sure I link a video so therefore you can better understand how to solve the law of sines and law of cosines. It's a lot more in depth than I can do in this video.